Hello. Hello and welcome to Xperiencify 101 Course Setup Basics. Hi, Barb. Good to see you. Hi, Peter. Hi, CJ. Dane, Paulette, Kylie, Sylvina, Naomi, Maria Jose. Welcome, everyone. Let me know where you are in your course creating journey. Like, are you at the very beginning? Are you kind of somewhere in the middle, or are you kind of like a pro and just hoping to learn some tips about moving your course over from one platform to Xperiencify? Let me know in the chat if you're beginning, middle, or pro. That would be great if I could get some idea of who I got with me today. I just wanted to, Peter's at the beginning. Excellent. You're in the right place, Peter. Maria Jose's trying to move to Xperiencify. Awesome. You're also in the right place. I'll just let you know that the pace I'm going to go at this morning, it's morning for me, is kind of, beginning, because a lot of people here will be new to our platform at the very least. And there are recordings of past versions of this training. If I'm going too slow for you, you can hop over to our YouTube channel or the Help Center page of Xperiencify, where you can see all of the past trainings. I have got a handout for today. Let me make sure you guys all have it by putting it in the chat. Okay, it was in the calendar thingy. Okay, so there in the Zoom chat is the link to make a copy. It will prompt you to make a copy. So just click on make a copy and you will have access to your version and won't be over typing everyone else's things. So that's there. I'll be following the handout. There is a bit at the end about kind of how to get your, once you have your course into Xperiencify, how to put it out there into the world. Okay, so take note of that. It's just the first steps of basic marketing for your course. We do have another training called MVP, Course MVP, which goes into a little bit more about how to actually obtain students for your course, if that's a new thing to you. Okay, so be sure to check that out. Naomi's coming over from Kajabi. Awesome. Paulette is beginning of the setup. Awesome. Okay, so even if you've dabbled a little bit or you've never even opened your course platform, we are going to get you sorted out today. Okay, I'm going to move through reasonably quickly. All of the steps are in the handout and there's little links to more information and things like that. If you find that I'm going too fast, in the replay, you can pause me and go back and do it again if you feel like you've missed a button or a step or something like that. Okay, so do not be concerned about that. It's great to get an overall picture of the whole process, and then if you want, if I'm going too fast, you can go back and check your steps. Okay, so what I've got to do is share my screen. I'm going to start right from scratch, just as you would if you'd never opened up Xperiencify before. Okay, what's the weather like where you are? I see Paulette is got, I'm presuming that's a fake background. Is it also snowy where you are, Paulette? Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the middle of we have a snowstorm, and yeah, we thought the snow was going to leave, but the gopher saw his shadows. We got 6 more weeks.
Oh no, you know what? I missed it. It's a strange concept for us in Australia, but I love that movie.
I bet.
Very educational.
Oh man.
Yeah, I gotta catch up and watch that.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, I have I use a Searchy as my platform for videos and stuff. So I don't have my website set up. So I just want to make sure that if I do my website through Xperiencify, this is a vertical setup, right, for everything else, for landing pages and the whole shebang, including CRM.
Yep. Yep. Well,
Okay.
yes. Vertical. Yes, I guess you could describe it as vertical. You don't scroll across like that.
Yeah, because my course is video based, and I was putting the videos with Searchy, but I believe that is what Marisa's using, is Searchy and Group Track, and I have both. And then I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, they're using the same programs that I have, but I hadn't populated them yet. So I just want to make sure if I'm building my website that I'll be able to integrate.
Yeah, absolutely. You can integrate Xperiencify to your website. Mayor's asking, Xperiencify has a CRM. Yes, we have a CRM. It's managing your students. It's not like a marketing CRM though, Mayor.
Okay.
And Ed has sunshine and 70 degrees. I don't know what 70 degrees is in Fahrenheit, but it sounds pretty good. Okay. All right, let's get started. We'll jump in. I always kind of run over time on this, so be warned. I'm hoping to answer a few questions at the end. So let's try and stick to the script. Sunshine in Mexico City, I bet. Yeah, Mexico sounds like a good place to be. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'm hopefully going to share the right screen. Oh, there's so many options. Okay, let's go with. Should I go with? No. Sorry, I usually do this quite well, but it's giving me, oh, that one. I think that's the one I want. I don't want Facebook though, do I? Okay. Oh, you know what? It's asking me for this to share my sound. I've got to put some password in because I haven't properly set up my new computer. Yay. Okay, you guys can see my Xperiencify, right? Thumbs up. Thank you, Barb. Awesome. Okay, so I'm in my account and I have a few courses already, but the way you get to make a new course is to click the green plus button. I do have, if you'll note in the in the handout at the top, there's a link to the Xperiencify Help Center. Fabulous resource. If you're not sure how to do something or you think I'm moving too fast, there's step-by-step instructions in the Help Center always. Okay, so make that your first port of call. And we're going to do step one. Okay, so we're going to create a course. I'm clicking on the green button. Okay, so this is a new course and it just pre-populates with awesome course name, just to give you something to start with. Call it whatever your course is going to be called. You can customize the URL here to whatever you want. And as long as you don't already have a course by that name, so every course name has to be unique, it will give you a little URL available green. Okay, and click on save on the right hand side. You put your course image here. We have pre-populated all the images for you just so that you don't have to worry if you don't want to. They're the cartoon style images and they are randomly populated. So you can't actually select from amongst the ones that are in the little book of them. But if you want to add your own, some people have like they make up in Canva, like a title page, like a slide title with their course name, or you can click on, and the way you change that is to click on the little button, the little green plus. You can upload from your computer, or we do have a handy integration with Unsplash, which is a free Creative Commons 0 image library. and you can type in something that is appropriate to your course topic. I'm looking at Barb, so I'm just going to put dogs in there. Do we really need to teach dogs how to sleep? I don't think so, but it's pretty cute, so I'm going to put that in there. Imagine that, because I do sleep coaching for parents. Imagine if we had to teach our dogs how to sleep. That would be pretty funny. I don't think we'd sell many courses, would we? Okay. And this thing over here, site icon, is the little, it's also known as a favicon if you're in Techland. It is the little logo image at the top of the tab in your browser. So by default, we have the Xperiencify one there. You don't need to change it at all. It's no worries whatsoever. If you happen to have a logo and you want to put that in there, it will need to be in ICO format, file format. So I've got in the handout there a link to how to easily and for free change your image file into an ICO format. And then you just click the green plus button on here and it will take you to your documents folder on your computer so you can upload it and change it over. Let me see if I've got one in here. I thought it was going to take me back to my other Xperiencify trainings. That's the one I want. Okay, favicon. I've got a favicon there. I don't know if you guys could see that or not. It was just the documents folder on my, okay, there, I've got a, so you can see my little icon there is a bullseye. So that will populate at the top of the browser tab. We've got our course URL. You will note here that the beginning of my URL is different. That's because I have added a custom domain already to my school. Yours will by default say your name or whatever company name you have put in your Xperiencify account, and then .xperiencify.io, and then you can customize the slug. We call this part the slug at the end of the URL. If you wanted to change this bit, you go into your account and go to your school, and this is where you change that portion of the URL. But it's not necessary at all. We totally give you a pre-populated one. Okay, so back into step one, and then we want a course description. So this is a 1 to 2 sentence, very short and succinct description of your course, and we want to make it like transformation based, so that it's an appealing description of your course. People know what they're going to get out of it at the end, what the transformation will be for them, how life will be different. And this is also what we call a token or a merge field, where we can in other parts of the course actually use the course description in curly brackets as a token, and it will pre-populate that. So if you want to use it elsewhere to remind it, for example, in emails to students or on your marketplace page or wherever else, you can use that as a token. Okay, and that's step one. Oh, you preview your course here. You can click this little link and that will show you what your course looks like, or you can use this URL up here, which is underneath your course name, and that will take you to the admin preview of what your course looks like. Okay, so I'm going to collapse that. You'll see that each step, we've got steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then course settings. You can collapse and expand those tabs by clicking on the arrow on the right-hand side. Okay, so we've done step 1. Moving on to step 2, there is a little yellow button here that has a quick start tutorial. So if you forget what I've gone through or you don't want to wait for me, you can click on that and it kind of walks you through what to do. We have, for the course price, we have 2 different tabs here, single payment and subscription. Single payment is usually for something that you pay for once as a course type product, and subscription is more of a membership thing where there's an ongoing amount that is automatically deducted over time, either monthly or annually. Okay, so single payment is, they've pre-populated some here. You put in the price of whatever you're charging for your course. I'm going to leave that at 500. You have got the opportunity to use installment plans if you like. If you don't want to, it's totally fine, and you just click the little trash icon and it disappears. If you decide you do want one, you go add installment plan, and you can have more than one. So you might decide to have monthly, 2 monthly payments of $275. The total of the plan does not need to equal the single payment. Okay, so usually, like, best practice is that you would add on between 10 and 20% to your course if you're providing a payment plan, just because of the extra risk that's involved and the possible extra transaction fees, things like that, that you are going to be taking on by offering a payment plan. And it also gives you the opportunity to actually offer different versions of this product if you want to. So for example, a VIP upgrade, or like if you have a course and a book, or you want to sell a course and a book and coaching, that sort of thing, you can actually make different offers here. And then in the order form, you can change the labels so that they actually describe what it is. That's one of my little handy workarounds until we upgrade our cart options, which is going to be happening. If anyone wants more information on that, I think I have in excuse me, in the Facebook group, I've gone into that a couple of times. But if you have, if you're really interested in that, I can walk through that for you another time, or ask in the Facebook group if you can't find the thread in there. Okay, for currency, you can change your currency from US dollars to something else in your account settings. So if you're not living in the US or you don't want to charge in US dollars, you can alter that there. And you can preview your order form, what it looks like at this green button, if you like. We're going to have a look at the order form in step 4 when we go through the page builder. There is an opportunity to add discount coupons here. If you want to, click the little add plus green button on the right. Here you add the coupon name. This is like the actual code that people will need to enter in the order form in order to receive that discount. Some people use like an, you know, a gibberish conglomeration of lots of consonants. Some people have like something like Christmas. Oh, it's not typing. Christmas. Oh dear. First time I use my keyboard. Okay, Christmas 23 or something that is easy to say if in a sales video or something like that. And you can choose whether it's a percentage off or $1 off, and it will tell you the amount based on, so my course is $500 there. So if I say dollars off, I'm gonna make a coupon just for $1 so that I can test that my Stripe account is connected to Xperiencify, which you do connect in your account settings. I'll show you that in a minute. And you can choose whether the coupon expires, if it doesn't expire at all, or whether it's on a specific date, so for a limited time. And then you would click on save, and then that, if you have multiple coupons, it will show you it will list them all. I'll show you how it stacks them. Okay, and you can see there that the XMAS23 coupon has a $499 discount and never expires. And the one that's called new coupon name, because I didn't type anything in, is 50% discount and never expires. If you then want to get rid of those, you just go over the little 3 dots and it will, a little pop-up will be there that says duplicate or delete. So you can either duplicate it and then alter it to make another one that's very similar, or delete it altogether. Okay, so what am I going to show you? How to set up your Stripe account. So your Stripe account is in account, and then advanced. And it's in connect payment gateways. And here you would type in your email address that your Stripe account is with. And when you do it the first time, that button will say connect, and then it will take you through another couple of screens to verify that you're the account holder of that Stripe account. Okay. And when it's connected, it will say completed here like that. So that's all good to go. Back to the sleeping dog. Okay, so we've done step 2. I'm going to check it off. And step 3 is the meat and potatoes of setting up your course. Now, again, we have a little quick start tutorial there if you wanted to go through that. Please note that there are 3 different tabs in step 3. There's the modules and trainings, which is where all of the core content of your course will live. And then we have 2 additional optional extras. You don't need to touch these at all if you don't want to, but they just give you another place to put things if, for example, you have live coaching calls that you want to provide the replays of. You can do that in replays. If you are offering bonus content that you don't want to be muddled up into the main content, you can put that in bonuses. They behave fairly similarly, kind of like in a basic format. It's the same as the modules and trainings. There's a few less options. It's a bit simpler. But at the moment, my course is completely empty. You can also watch another little video down here to see about adding content. I'm going to click on add a module. These 2 buttons, the green buttons are the same. This one is only there because there's actually nothing there. This one will stay there when you have content already in there to add an additional module. Okay, so the division, I just needed to explain what the terminology that we use in Xperiencify. We have modules and trainings, and modules are the large divisions within your course, and then trainings are the smaller divisions that sit within a module. If you have a very short course or you're just doing a challenge or something like that, you need only have 1 module, but you can't have empty module. Like modules have to have trainings is what I mean. And so if you're going to divide your course up into modules, you need to have at least 1 training in each module. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to call Barb. Tell me a module name, something interesting.
About welcome to my world.
Welcome. Oh, I always do that. Welcome to my world. This is the sleeping dog.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a little dog emoji because it's fun. That cute one. All right. Welcome to my world. Okay, and here I've got a place to put a module image. We've got the recommended size in pixels here, 2000 to 1200. That has recently changed if you've been here for a while. We have noticed that because of all the upgrades and things, the images were showing a little bit blurry at the old recommended size, so we have increased that. Okay, so you're welcome to use whatever image pre-populates there, or if you want to click the little plus button, you can upload from your computer your Keynote slide or your Canva image, whatever it is you have, or you can choose an image from Unsplash, and I'm just going to keep with the theme. Oh, all right, let's do that one. Okay, beautiful. Saving. All right, and here we've got opportunity to write a 1-sentence description of your module, just about like basically what the topic is about. And you can change the URL here. If you happen to have a really long name for your module or you want to abbreviate in some way, you can do that here. It won't change the actual display name of the module. It will just change the end part of the URL there. You can, I'm going to take off that. I must, oh, it's because I've got the emoji there. You can offer bonus points for completing a module in this section here. There is an article on the difference between XP and double XP. It just gives you a way to offer different tracks, content tracks, if you like, if you want quite a complex course. You can look up that Help Center article to find out more about that. But if you want to offer, we used to have by default 10 XP as the bonus set for finishing a module, but it's now changed down to 0 and we just let people choose what they want to do. Save changes, always save, always save. Okay, and you can see I've got one module there now. And what I can do is, it just depends on your preference. I can create all my modules and then I can go in and populate my trainings within the modules, or you can work one module at a time. And then you'll see here, there's a button to add my first training. I'll show you what it looks like when I have several modules. Save changes. Okay, so I've got, they just stack one under the other and I can expand them or collapse them there like that for ease of seeing. If you've already created your module and then you want to go in and edit it, you can either click on the module and then go to the green edit module button, or you can go on the 3 dots here. You can see a preview, edit, delete, duplicate, copy to another course, or move to another course. They're the options, which are really handy if you're wanting to set up one course as a template for all of your other courses, several other courses, just so that all the settings are the same. It's very handy to copy things over like that, or move them if you end up reorganizing your courses. Okay, I'm going to add a training to my first module. Does anyone else want to give me a interesting training name? Putting you all on the spot here because I don't feel very creative today. Anyone? I'm going to call on Barb again.
Yep, get your dog to chill out.
Get your dog to chill. I actually need that because my dog is very ADHD and so hyperactive. So they told me, she's a Labrador, they told me that she'd settle down when she got to 3. No.
Is she a field trial lab?
No.
No, okay.
For those of you who don't know, Barb's a dog trainer. That's why she knows so much. Okay, get your dog to chill out. So here you'll notice that we have across the top, there's several different menus. So this is all within step 3 of a training, okay? Step 3 of the course setup, and then we're inside one training, okay? So these are all the options inside a training. We've got the basic info, which is the training name, the thumbnail, which will sit over the top of the video. We don't pre-select, I don't think, maybe we do actually, maybe it's changed. Anyway, this image will sit over the top of the video on the training page. So some people like to have a slide with the, the training name on it. You can click, as usual, click on the plus button and it will take you to your documents folder on your computer, or you can choose from Unsplash. We have a training blurb. Now this piece of text will sit below your training name, but above the video. Okay, so some people like to use this to explain in a little more detail what this training is about. We can customize the URL yet again of this training. So what we've got is our school name, our course name, our module name, and then our training name. Okay, so it can get quite long if you've got a lot of words in your training and module names. So if you want to abbreviate it, you certainly can do that here, and it doesn't affect the actual display training name at all. The training notes, you'll see here as I hover over, there's a little I button, information button, and that will give you a bit more information about what that thing is. Training notes is completely optional. And this text will sit below, directly below the video on your training page. And you'll notice here that it says, it's in a little grayed out text, type / for menu. So I want to show you, this is like the biggest tip ever in Xperiencify. Typing the / key brings up a formatting menu. It does vary depending on which field you're in, but you'll see here that I've got some text formatting options. I've got tokens, which is what I referred to before when I was talking about course description. These are the merge fields that will pre-populate into the text information that you have put in already in other areas. So in this particular field, you can choose from the student's first name, last name, student's email address, course name, your first name as the instructor, or your company name, or I happen to have some custom field links set up here already. So these are really handy if you wanted to say, hey, student first name, this is what we're going to do in this section, or whatever it is that you want to say, you can pre-populate it with those tokens. Okay, and then we're going to move on to actually loading our video, which is in the media section. We've got a choice to upload our video file from our computer in either MP4 or MOV format. Or if you happen to already have your videos hosted on a platform like Vimeo or Wistia or YouTube, you can, or there's many others, and the Help Center article on video formats does go into directly all of those. You can actually embed your video from those platforms. So it will still live on those platforms, but it will just display on your training page. With this option of uploading it, it means that Xperiencify is actually hosting it. So when I click on one of this button, it will take me to my documents folder. I'm going to click on an example video and upload it. There will be a little green, I'm hoping, a little green progress. That did not work. What's going on? Oh, don't do this to me. It's okay. What it's supposed to do? I'm going to have to. Gremlins in the system. All right. Note that there's a 2 GB limit per file, which is enormous. So don't worry. But that is there to take note of. Oh, it's starting now, and my internet's just really, really slow because I am on Zoom and I'm sharing my screen and it just really taxing it. Okay, so there's a little progress bar across the bottom that will show you when your video has been uploaded. And you'll note here that says we suggest compressing your video using Handbrake, and there's a link there to a free video compression tool that will reduce the size of your video. That's really good if you've got long videos, or if you've got a really big course with a lot of videos. So it will reduce the amount of storage space that takes up, and it will increase the loading speed for your students. Okay, and that's just going really slow. I don't know. It must be this Zoom thing. Okay, what I'm going to do is just move on to the next bit, which is the release timing. Now, by default, every training that you create will still be in draft mode, which means that no one can see it until you set it to a different release schedule. Okay, so you don't need to worry about uploading things and having students who are already in the course be able to see it. Everything's set to draft by default. And then you can click on the little down arrow to expand this. And there are several options here. Immediate release means that all content is available as soon as the student is added to your course. A specific date means you get to choose a date on the calendar when that video will be, when that training will be released. And the time at the moment is in, you'll note, Pacific US time. They are about to release very imminently a way to set your account to your own time zone, which is fabulous. But otherwise, until then, just take note that this release time is in Pacific US. If you're not there, make an adjustment. So if this is, for example, if you're all moving through a course at the same time and you say at 6 a.m. every Monday, the trainings will be released, take note of what the difference is for your specific time zone. Okay, or you can choose if you're in evergreen mode, if your course is in evergreen, which means that students can join at any time and they're moving through the course in their own pace. You can select a number of days after they have been added to the course for that training to drop. Or if you want to do it in a bit more advanced fashion, like every Monday and Thursday trainings will release, you can use this option, the nth day of a specific week. So there's more details on this option in the Help Center. So do read that if what I'm saying makes absolutely no sense to you. It is a bit of an advanced option and you certainly don't need to start doing this. But if you did go through Experience Product Masterclass with Marisa, you will note that they had trainings drop on a certain day of the week, and this is the way you would do it. If you want to allow your students to binge your course, but you don't want it all to be released at once, you want them to have to finish the previous training before they can get the next one, but you want to disregard the schedule, I can actually reward action takers by letting the next training drop as soon as they've finished the previous one. You would toggle on this release content to students dynamically. And it has a warning here because it means that once you turn it on for one thing, it's on for the whole course. Okay, you can't just select it for one training. So I'm going to say, yes, turn it on. That means that any schedule that I've set up here will be overridden if once a student has completed that training. It means that the next training will be released to them irrespective of whatever schedule I've set up. Okay, there is more information on binge mode in the Help Center as well. Okay, points. This is the gamified part. We're just starting to get into the gamified part of things. There is an Xperiencify 202 training that I have done several times. There's a replay of in the Help Center and on our YouTube channel. So if you're interested in more gamification than what I go through today, because this is the basic course setup, you can go and watch those replays for all the juicy bits, okay? Or it is pretty self-explanatory, so you can just move your way through it and just pop into the little how-to videos as needed. But generally, every training that you create is pre-loaded with 2 action steps. Now, what we recommend is that there's one consumption action, which just means that the student has to view the video or read the text or whatever, however you're delivering your course. Xperiencify is a video-based course platform, so we do recommend that you have a video, even if you've got, even if the main part of your content is delivered in a different format, we do recommend you have at least a very short video with a face to camera of you, the instructor, kind of just summarizing what they can expect in the course, in this training. It really does help with engagement and help your students to feel like they're important to you and that they get to know you and want to move through things because you're a real human. Okay, so watched video is one, and then we have next steps, which is a blank action step. I'm going to expand them over here with the little down arrows. You'll also notice that it has different amounts of points for these. You can set however many points you want for these action steps. We recommend that the consumption step is small, and then that you reward them more for doing the implementation step, is actually taking action on the content that you have taught them. Okay, and you can also, with the 3 little dots, you can either duplicate that action step or delete it altogether. So I'm going to expand that, and we've got lots of options in here. Training type, there's 3 training types. Action types. I'm getting all my words mixed up. We've got 3 action types in Xperiencify. the simple checkbox, which just means that you tell them what to do and they check off that they've done it. An essay response doesn't mean that they have to write an essay, but it just means that it's a free text response where you can ask them a question and they can submit their own, make up their own answer and submit that. You do have the option with this to set a minimum amount of words that they need to provide in order to check off this step, which can be really handy if you want more than a yes, no answer. Really get your students, like it's my recommendation to really get them to think about what they're doing so that they are more likely to get the transformation that you're promising and feeling more satisfied about the content that they're moving through. We have a multiple choice option. You can have as many choices as you want. It will, I think it loads 3 by default. Yeah, so you'll see that there's 3 possible answers by default, but if you just click on the little green button there, it will provide you, it'll add more. And if 3 is too many and you only want 2, for example, you can just click the trash icon and delete it there. We do, for the multiple choice, we allow you to select the correct answer. Just very recently, we've changed this so that you can uncheck that and have no correct answers, which is handy if you are trying to do a survey or you're getting students to submit their opinion on something. So that means that there's not a right answer. According to, like, whatever they select is correct and they can get points for doing that step. Okay, so make sure you select, if you do want a correct answer, select which one it is, and then you can customize the incorrect choice message. And you can also change how long before they can try again. They can reattempt that question. By default, it's set to 5 minutes, but if you want them to be able to attempt again immediately, you just set it to 0 and it gives you like 2 seconds, I think, countdown. Okay, so they're the 3 types of actions. I'm going to change it back to simple checkbox. The action name is here, so that would be something like watched video. Like we recommend you put it in the past tense because they're going to be checking off that they've done that thing. So it could be watched video or signed up for a coaching call or took a screenshot of my homework or whatever it is. Put the action name there. There is a little field above it to put some text. You don't have to have anything there, but we just have by default action. You can remove that if you don't want it. And then we have a space for detailed action notes. Add a short overview of what you covered in the video, which you can do for the watched video consumption step. It does cater to different learning styles. So some people are really good at watching videos. Some people are better at reading text. So by providing a little summary, it's really good. People can check it off and say, oh yeah, I got the main points of that. You can change, if you don't like the phrase done it, a lot of people don't, you can change it to submitted or achieved or whatever it is that you want them to do. You can change the action image. We have little cartoon ones by default here. Just click the little plus button at the top. They are square-shaped images that you need to put in there, but they do display as a circle. So just bear that in mind when you're submitting. You can also put GIFs in here too, which is really fun. I had a course creator who was teaching drum lessons, and he had Animal, the Muppet, doing his drums in a GIF, which was really cool. You can change the number of points here to whatever you want. Do note that you can also change the sound effect according to the number of points you give. So all of the 1 XP can have a different sound to the 2 XP, to the 3 XP, to the 5 XP, etc. like that. So that's a fun way to vary the sound effects and make things less predictable. So I do recommend you take advantage of changing the amount of points that you give action steps, and while noting that a particularly difficult action or something that they might be resistant to doing, you can offer them more points, which is a better incentive for them. An advanced feature is adding tags to this action step. You needn't worry about this in the basic setup, but there is more information about tags in the Help Center. Okay, so that's for one. Deselect that. So you can see we've got 2 actions there. If you have any worksheets or anything else that you want your students to have access to, you can upload it here. I think it pretty much does every file type under the sun, but it does have their PDFs, MP3, PowerPoint, Word documents, etc. I know for a fact you can upload Excel files if you really want to freak out your students, or if you're teaching accounting or something like that, I guess it's appropriate. So you'd click on the add green button and click on upload. You can also compress those files if you're giving them access to all of the PowerPoint slides for that particular training. I know Marisa does that in Experience Product Masterclass. You can compress it with Handbrake to make the file size smaller and therefore quicker to load. The upload button will just take you to your documents folder on your computer, and then you can change the name of whatever that download is. I'm going to click on example worksheet. That would be good. Okay, so again, you'll see that there's a green progress bar that tells you when it's loaded, and you'll see the file name there, and it has changed it to, this is a worksheet. I can put emojis in there as well to make it more fun, and you can add as many as you like, but do beware, like, don't overwhelm your students by giving them a whole stack of things. Just what's necessary for them to do that particular training is my recommendation. So we've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps within this training, and then I'm going to click on save. I haven't set a release schedule. Okay, so immediately is what I'm going to choose, and I'm going to save that and close. And so now I've got my first module, I've got 1 training within that, and you can see the total of the points that I've given here. This is because I gave 3 XP for that training, and then there's a bonus of 10 XP for completing the whole module. Okay, I think we've done, let me have a look. And obviously you just repeat that process for as many trainings and modules as you have. Okay, I've done step 3. I'm going to move on. I'm going to collapse that. How are we going for time? All right, moving right along. Step 4, this is the fun part in my opinion. Well, no, it's not the, well, okay. This one's really, really fun, and this one's fun in my opinion. This is kind of like moving into a different dimension if you, in terms of like, it's a bit web page buildy kind of thing. So if it's not your thing, you know, put your seatbelt on and buckle in, because it's a little different. But we have got tutorials, and I'm going to hold your hand all the way through it, so don't worry. There are, this is where we're customizing the template, the page templates for all the things within your course that are going to show to your student. Now there are a lot in here. You can see there's a lot, but we only need to do, and I think in step 4 of the handout, there's only 3 really essential ones that you need worry about right now. Okay. And I've noted them on the handout. The essential ones are home, single training, and order form. Okay. All the others, they're all set up, so you needn't worry. They're still going to work, but you don't need to worry, because you really don't have any way. Students either don't access them in the beginning, or it doesn't really need to be, you don't need to worry about complicating things by having to set them up in the very beginning to get started. Okay, so we're going to go through each one. The homepage is where students land are as soon as they are added to the course. So if they use our order form, our checkout page, the greatest advantage of using Xperiencify is that the course opens straight up for them as soon as they have purchased. They don't need to go to their email and worry about whether the login information's gone to their junk folder or the spam or the promotions or the wherever it is. The course actually opens up straight away for them. We do send them an email with their login information, but they don't need to go to that in order to get started, which is really good, because when a student is most excited is when they've just hit that buy button, and we can welcome them straight away and they can start earning points immediately. Okay, so homepage, I've got several options. Each one of these templates underneath, when you hover, they've got an edit button, a preview button, or a copy link button. So that's after you've set things up, you may need to just check on it, preview it, or copy the link to give it somewhere else. Or if you've got a website that you want to link things over to, or you want to put your order form URL in social media page or something like that, that's what that's there for. I'm going to click on it to open up what we call the page builder. It's step 4, and this is where we're going to customize what it looks like. You don't need to really touch it very much at all if you don't want to, if you like how we've set it up and what colors we've used. But if you've got a particular way that you want things to look, this is how you do it. Okay, so I've got, you'll notice that when I hover down, when I roll my mouse over the page, that different areas will outline in green, and that indicates that's a block that you can customize in some way, and that there's little buttons. When that's outlined, there's little buttons over here. There's scrolling to see different versions of that layout. You can save what you have done to your block library so that you can reuse it on other pages, which is particularly handy for this navigation header and the footer. So do take note of that, and once you have it set up how you like it, save it to your library, and then you can just drag it into the other page templates. We have also an edit content button, which is the one you're going to be using most. Then we have an up and down arrow, which actually moves the block around the page so that if it's in the wrong location, you can reorder them. We have a little copy button, which means that you can copy that block on the same page. And then we have a trash icon, which allows you to delete the block if you don't want it anymore. Okay, so the navigation header allows you to put any links that you want across the top. They can go to internal pages within your course or external pages to your website or wherever else you want them to go. And the way I would alter those is go to the green edit button. Oh, first of all, you'll notice that on the left-hand side here, I have a list of all the different page templates that I have. You'll also notice that right at the bottom, there's a green button that says create a custom block. And this is your saved blocks. I already have some blocks saved in my library from me setting up my courses. That's where they live. And then you would go over to them, select the one that you want, and then click and drag it into the page template to use it. You'll notice that up the top here, it says home. This is the template that I'm editing right now. When I go to a different page, that will change. I've got page settings here. I can preview the page as a student would see it. And here, this button that says this page is live means that I haven't done made any changes that need to be saved yet. When I make an alteration, this button will change to save. And that's how I would save the changes and make sure that they stick before moving on to something else. Okay, so I'm going to edit the content of my navigation header by edit content. These things over on these fields over on the side expand with the little arrow. So the data is all of the content within that block that I'm editing. You can turn on the search bar or not, have it off. You can turn on or off the student profile button, and you can turn on or off the logout button if you like. I normally leave all of those on, and you can add your own company or school logo there by clicking on browse, and it will open up your documents folder, or you can use, strangely enough, you can use Unsplash. I probably wouldn't do that, but never mind. Make sure your logo is quite simple for this situation, because it's going to show quite small on the left-hand side of this navigation bar if you use it. This is where we select the links that we have across the top. You'll notice that there's 3 at the moment. There's home, all trainings, and my courses. They're the ones that are just there by default. If you don't want to use those, you can just click on the trash icon and it will remove that link. And then you can add any links that you want here with the green add link button. You can, the display name might be, you might have a schedule page. And then here is where you click, where you select the destination that you want that linked, that name, that text piece to go to. So you can select these internal pages within your course, or you can type or paste a URL and then click on the little link button if it's an external destination that you want them to go to. You can select who it shows to, everyone, or people with a tag, or people without a tag. As I mentioned before, there's more information about tags in the Help Center. You needn't worry, you can just put everyone. That's quite fine. It's just a more complicated way if you are, for example, releasing special content to people who have done something in particular in your course. As a bonus, you can give them access to another page as a reward for taking action in your course. You can change the colors of the links here. According to your brand, you'll see that those change to red. And you can make further alterations here to the formatting, change the background color. And this is where I said, obviously you wouldn't, okay, I'm going to change a different color because that's really, oh, there we go. You'd need to choose a combination of colors that will show up against. So the red was a little bit dark on the blue, so I've changed it to yellow. You can change it to your branding. You can add a background image in there if you've got like a particular pattern that you use. And what was I going to say? Oh, this is where I want to go close and save. And once I've got this navigation header, how I want it, if I want to reuse this in other templates, this is where I go save to library. And then I'm going to go to a different page, like my single trainings page. And then I don't want this header anymore, so I'm going to delete it. Makes me confirm that. And then I'm going to go to my saved blocks. I'm going to scroll down to the last thing that I saved, which was this one, and I'm going to drag it up there. And so now I've got the same header with the same links, the same branding, etc. that I had before, and I'm going to click Save Changes. So that's a really easy tip once you have something set up how you like to reuse it elsewhere in your course. Okay, so actually, do I need to go back to home? I need to tell you all the other things. We've got countdown timer here, which you edit by going to edit content, column 1, countdown. You can customize all of the bits and pieces here. And when you're going to actually set what the timer counts down from and to, it's live mode here for a particular date on the calendar, or evergreen means that there's a particular number of days, weeks, or months that you're giving each student who goes through your course, no matter when they start from. Okay, so if I'm choosing 3 days, you'll note that when I save it, this has changed to 2 hours and 23, sorry, 2 days, 23 hours and 59 minutes, counting down from the 3 days that I've given. You can have different countdown timers in different parts of your course. So for example, you might on the home page have a countdown timer until the course is going to start. If you're all starting on a particular date, And then within the trainings, you might have a countdown timer to when the course is finished. Okay, so you can have different countdown timers and they don't need to be the same period that they're counting down from, and they can have different branding, different colors, etc. Okay, close and save. Always close and save, close and save, close and save. Okay, the next block is the main, like the video portion, and all of this content here is customizable for the homepage only. When you see this block in the single training page, all of the information will be fed into it from step 3 in your course setup that we went through previously. And I'll go back to that. Step 3, all of the information that gets fed into the single training template is from here. So all of this information, training name, your blurb, training notes, the media is the video, the points are the action steps, and the downloads, all of that will go into the single training page. I need to move my little Zoom bar here. Okay. But for right now, we're on the home page, and this is where we can put our welcome video in, a message to welcome the student. You can use the tokens that I mentioned before by putting their first name in, for example, and also the course name. So you'll see actually that it's quite small on my screen. I'm hoping it's legible for you, but you'll see it says congrats, and then it's got curly brackets first name, which means it's a token, and it will draw in the first name of the student in there. So it will say, congrats, Barb, you made it, and then add your course welcome message here. I'm going to change that to, that's the headline. I'm going to change that to welcome to, and I'm going to hit the / key, which brings up the formatting menu, and I'm going to go and select tokens, and I'm going to put in the course name. Okay, so that's going to pre-populate whatever I put in at step 1 as my course name in the actual text. You've got lots of formatting options here. You can change the size of the text, and if you click on the little cogwheel here, you've got more alignment and spacing options and choosing fonts, etc. If you wanted to alter what components are within this block, you do that in edit layout. So edit layout is all of the components, and you can add and delete things there. If you wanted to go to cancel, if you're actually changing the content, you go to edit content. Okay. And that's also, so the edit content is where we put in our video and our thumbnail. Okay, it's just got a pre-populated example image there, and it's just got a little filler video for you there. But you would remove that and click on browse and upload your own video from your documents folder, and you can change if you think the play button's not big enough, and if you want a different colored play button, you can change it there. That's just for the home page. If you want to change the video play button for the rest of your course that's in, you'd have to add custom CSS, which there is a help article on, and it shows you there's example text there so that you can pop that into your CSS in your account section. Okay, close and save. All right, the next block is goals. They are editable from edit content. There's lots of options there. And then the next thing we have is what we call pre-actions. Now, you don't have to have these at all. You can just delete that block if you don't want it. But this is a really good way to have some quick little administrative type things that you want your student to do to start winning points and feel good about making progress through the course before they've actually even done any content. And the block underneath that is where we show the very next step that they have, which will change according to their progress throughout the course. So every time they log back into the course, the homepage will open up, and this next step block will show the next piece of content that has been released to them or where they are at in your content. We can set this so that these things disappear once they have, and actually by default, I think they do disappear. Let me have a look. So I'm in the pre-actions block, and I've got 3 pre-actions here, which correspond to these 3, and I can expand them here to get the options within them. And action settings, I can choose a celebration, I can put a tag in, I can choose when it is completable, so I can actually force them to not be able to check it off straight away, which is handy for the goals. And here by default, it says hide from students. So this is set up so that once they check off the pre-actions, they disappear and they don't need to look at them every time they log in, which is quite handy. If you happen to want to have those action steps, whatever they are, to remain, you can click on that and say keep visible once checked off. Okay, close and save. You can also change how many next videos show. So I'm in the last block here, that's like the next steps, what to do next. I've got show next available trainings. There's lots of different options here, but for the homepage, I would suggest show next available trainings. And I usually change from 3 to 1, so that I'm only showing them the very next step about what they're doing. And what I do is in my welcome video, I actually talk through a bit of a bird's eye view of what we're going to be doing in the course. So they kind of have a very general bird's eye view, know what's coming up, but then they're only facing the very next thing to do rather than an entire wall of 87,000 videos, which is what they do in a lot of other course platforms, which can feel very overwhelming for the student. And it's not really much fun at all to know that you're only at the very beginning and there's a whole wall of things left to do. Okay, and you can move these up and down, as I mentioned before. I'm going to save my changes, and then we're going to move on to, so that was homepage. The very next one that's essential is the single training block. Okay, I did dabble in this a little bit before, but this is, again, we've got a navigation header. We've got the actual content, which I did mention is going to be fed in from your step 3 with the actual content. But here is where you basically change the look and formatting of it. If you want to, you can totally leave it as it is. It will look totally fine. This is where the actual downloads you have in step 3 for this particular, for any training, will appear. It changes according to the training that they're viewing. If you don't have anything in that section, this block won't be there, so you don't need to worry. The next bit is the action steps, which is the points section in step 3. And then we have, again, your next training. We just want to show them the very next thing. And you can customize all of these things by clicking on edit content. And then we've got, of course, we've got the footer at the bottom, which you can customize just like the navigation header at the top. And you can also save that to your library. You can save any of them, but I recommend always saving the header and the footer so that you can then transfer them over to the other pages in your course if you like. Some people set up their course in different ways and they have different pages, and that's why we have the option to customize different pages and not have the exact same footer and header in every page, because some people use it in quite a complex way. Okay, on to the order form. This is where I promised you I was going to show you a preview of your order form. This is the information in, or the payment information will be populated from where you have set up in step 2, back over here in step 2. Whatever you set up here as your payment options is going to show in the order form over here on the right. And you can change the colors of this however you like. I'm going to put a different background color because I like that. You'll notice that there's a left-hand column and a right-hand column. And over here on these sections, you'll see that the left-hand column data here, I can expand it with that arrow. I can change the wording of it. I can select whether I want to obtain their phone number or not. That is essential if you're going to send SMSs as part of your experience engine, which we go into in XP 202, the live training on advanced gamification. So you'll need to collect that. If you're going to send them something physical like a book, you will need to have their address. You can choose not to collect it though. And then in the right-hand column, we have the tokens of course name that will pre-populate from step 1, and the course description, which I didn't happen to enter anything, and that's why it doesn't have anything there. But if you did enter something in step 1, that will pre-populate there. Otherwise, you can completely delete that and write whatever you like here as a blurb about the course. And this is where the 2 payment options that I have set up in step 2 are going to populate. I can expand them here and actually change the labels of what they say. I was mentioning earlier that if you have like a VIP option, you could have just like the basic, just the course only, or course and coaching, and you can have different, you can label the different payment options with different labels so that it's clear what they are getting. And it here reminds you that the available price options that are showing here are set up in step 2. You can choose to show the coupon code field or not. You can choose what it says when they enter it. And here is where you enter your terms and conditions. Now, this is a button that they do have to check off in order to be able to complete their purchase. And you have 2 options. You can have a pop-up, which you can copy and paste in here where it says some terms and conditions. You can copy and paste something very, very simple, or it can be quite long if you want. It's up to you. We can't give you legal advice about terms and conditions because it's completely dependent on what you're selling and where you live. So please check out what's appropriate for your jurisdiction. But the pop-up text would just be pasted into there. If you want to go to an external link, for example, if you already have terms and conditions on your website or hosted somewhere else, you can put in a link there to your terms and conditions, and it will turn that into a hyperlink and take them to that page where they can then agree to those terms. You can change the color of your button and everything else there, and all those other formatting options, the background image, etc. Okay, close and save. I'm aware of the time. I'm rushing towards step 5. Barb, you know I always do this, don't I? Terrible. Okay, so we're going to move on. So those were the 3 essential page templates that you need. If you want to give your students access to other things like the modules and the replays and things like that, you will need to give them access in the header there, or some other way by copying the URL for that page and giving them access that way. If the link to those other pages is not in your course anywhere, no one's going to see it. So you don't need to worry about them all being set up if you've just got a very simple course layout. Okay, I'm going to go on to step 5, which I did promise was the really fun section. I'll just give you a heads up that we don't have too much to go here. Step 6 is really just links that you can hand out. This one is your order form link that you send to buyers or that you put on your social media. That just opens up as that order form that I just showed you before. This is your school login page. You don't need all of these, but this is where you find them if you want to give them out. And course settings is, I did mention CSS earlier, that's where you enter that, but that's an advanced feature. Sound effects is here in course settings now, and you can add as many different sound effects as you like. We've got by default the XP sound effect, which happens to be cha-ching in this case. I can change that to sparkle. Can play it there. Is it? Oh, there we go. Update sound effects. So now I've got sparkle instead of cha-ching, and you can change all the others and add some more. There is a video on all of this section too. But I'm going to go back to step 5, which is adding the secret sauce. Now this is celebrations and experience engine. Celebrations are on full screen animated celebrations that are completely customizable, and you can set different triggers for those to display. You can add your own sounds, you can add your own animations, which is a new thing that I just found out. I wasn't aware that you can do that. Although we do have a library of over 6,500 pages, and each page has 9 on it. So there's really a lot to choose from. You can customize the text, everything like that. So it's really good to be able to reward your students and let them know that they're progressing through things. The experience engine is what we call automations. Okay, so what's in here by default, we don't have any celebrations in there by default, but we do have a playbook where you can choose from pre-created celebrations, and all you need to do is check that they say what you want and to tell us when you want those to display. We do have by default an experience in here, which is the when the user is added to the course. You'll note that it's not turned on though, okay? We wait for you to customize that to turn it on, and the way you turn it on is just by clicking that little toggle and it will turn green. Okay, so please note that you need to turn it on for it to actually fire. And I just clicked on the little arrow on the right-hand side there to expand that. When you've got more experiences, they will just stack one under the other, and you can expand or collapse those as you want. This one happens to have an email in it. So what this does is, I'm going to click on change how this experience happens. This experience name is called student welcome email, which I can change to whatever I want. The starting trigger is added to course. Okay, so as soon as a student is added to the course, this experience will fire. You needn't worry about these things. This is just for advanced things. By default, they are set up to work for most cases. Okay, so it will fire when a student is added to the course, and what's going to happen is there's going to be an email. I can turn off individual components within this. Oh, it's going to make me do this. Okay, I'll show you that later. What I wanted to show you was that you can have multiple components within an experience. Actually, I'll put a delay timer in. Okay, so I'm going to add, so you'll see here that over on the left is the actual experience, which I can collapse like that and not see the components. And then the individual components will line up slightly indented to the right underneath that. So add a tag, just show you that they all line up underneath, and you can turn individual components on or off within that. This toggle for the experience itself needs to be turned on for anything to happen at all. So if that is off, nothing will happen even if these components are on. Okay, so make sure that that's turned on if that's what your intention is. So you click on individual components to open them up, and that will show you what our default welcome email says. You can customize this however you like. And please note that we've included the magic link and the traditional way for them to log into the course if they want to go old school. It's a great idea to add the magic link to every email that you send a student so that it's really easy. Like if they get your email or your text message and the magic link is there, they can click on it and just go straight into the course rather than having to go and find their login, etc. So it just makes it really easy. And the way you do that is using the magic link token, which you can get by clicking the / key anywhere that you can enter text. we have the capability to send actual students the email, or it can go to you as the holder of the Xperiencify account, or it can go to someone else, a third party. You might want to send yourself an email when an experience fires, just to notify you that something has happened. For example, I have, as part of my when student added to course experience, I send myself an email that just says, this student just joined, hooray, and I give myself a little GIF, which is fun. And I use the tokens of the student's first name, last name, student's email address, and which course they have joined. So it just gives me a little notification. Most of your emails will go to your student though. This send test email, that test email always goes to whatever email address is the account holder of this course creator account. Okay, so that will, the send test email will go to you. That's not testing an email to send to a student. It will show, it will send whatever this email is to you so that you can see what it looks like. If you make changes, click update. Okay, there's lots of experiences, and the help center does go through some of the most common ones that you'll want to use. So do check those out. But by default, we give you the first one there. I'm going to walk you through, just show you a little bit inside the celebrations. There is a little video and a tutorial. I'm going to add a celebration. Did I click on that? Come on. Oh my goodness, don't tell me this isn't working. Oh, here we go. Okay. So you'll notice that, oh my goodness, my voice is going. This is just a very basic one. This is basically for you to customize, but you'll notice that there's a celebrations gallery button up the top here, and that has, I'm going to click on that and show you that in the pre-built celebrations, there's 3 pages of ones to choose from. And you can just, preview those or click on them and add them, customize them and add them to your experience engine, and then set the trigger for when you want those to fire. You can also click on the little heart button and favorite any that you particularly like, and they will then display in your favorites menu, and any that you create yourself will be in your experiences tab there that you can reuse or alter in some way. You can also search for, in the pre-built ones, I think you can search for welcome, and it will show you that there's 2 pre-built ones there that you're welcome to use. Okay, so do check those out. Within an experience, there is, let me move that over. Okay, so you'll notice that there's a central image here, which in this case happens to be the green check mark, which I can change to anything that's there. So that's now like gold coins coming out of a trophy. So there's the central image. There's a background image, which in this case happens to be confetti. I'll just play it and you can see. Okay, so that's a background image, which you can change by clicking on the plus button there and choosing, it's a money theme today. I don't know if dogs like money at all, but someone's unmuted. I'm glad that was funny. Okay, and you can customize whatever the message is here. Lots of gold coins. You can use tokens by clicking the / key and getting the student's first name, if that's what you want to say. You can change the sound effect by clicking on that. There's lots of preloaded ones here, or you can upload your own MP3. There are several websites where you can download free Creative Commons Zero sound effects, or you can record your own, okay, and upload it there, and it will take you to your documents folder to upload your own sound effect. And if you want to preview it, you just click the play button. When you're happy with it, save, and you can keep that name or add a different name to it and create. Okay, so now I have a celebration called Gold. It's not turned on yet. Okay, so that's the toggle where I turn it on. But first of all, I need to set a trigger. What's going to make this celebration happen? And I can choose from this list of first login, last login. Last login is when they haven't logged in for a particular amount of time. They've earned a certain number of points, they've completed a training or the module or completed the course. So you can select whichever is appropriate there. I'll just select earned 30 XP and create event. And now it's going to show me that my celebration, when I collapse it, the celebration is called Gold and the trigger is that the student earns 30 points, and I'm going to turn that on. When you've got a stack of different celebrations, you can easily see which ones they are. And if you want to delete them or duplicate them, you can do that from the little 3 dots button there. Okay, so we've done celebrations and we've done a basic overview of Experience Engine. As I said before, always you check out the Help Center because there's lots of step-by-step screenshots and little videos of more information for things. I just wanted to make a quick note before we finish up on, let me stop my screen share. Let's see all your faces. Oh, I've got to see, I haven't been paying attention to the chat. I'm going to pop into that in just a second. Once on the handout, after step 6, it will say start gathering a few beta customers to test your course. Okay, so if you're new to course creation, this can feel slightly daunting, but I just want you to remember that saying that motion breeds clarity. And as soon as you start moving forward, you will, it will feel a lot easier and clearer. You will know whether things feel right or you want to change the way you're doing things. But if you don't start, you will never know. And you can keep perseverating on something forever and get stuck in procrastination. So we don't want that. We'd love you to just really start talking about your course to everyone that you meet and everyone that you know, so that you can start finding those people that may be right to be your first customers. So I've got some little steps there: brainstorming all the people you know, identifying social media groups where your ideal person hangs out, and how to talk to people in real life about what this new thing that you're doing, if it's new. In the course MVP training that I have done in the past, and there are training replays of in the Help Center and the YouTube channel, you can dig a little bit more deeply into the process of finding your first customers for your course. You'll notice that at the bottom of the handout, I've got some action steps. So what I would really love all of you guys to do is to complete the 6 steps of the basic setup of your course. Start talking to people about what you're doing and to gather some beta testers. We're going to have future trainings where we go into the more advanced features of gamification. I want you to subscribe to our training calendar, our Xperiencify education calendar, so that you don't miss any of the future trainings that we have. It will integrate with your Google Calendar or your iCal or whatever it is that you use, so that you'll get reminders and it will be in there so you don't double book yourself. And I want to please ask you to, I'm going to give you, click on that feedback form link that's at the bottom of your handout. I'm going to try and copy this into the chat. Yes, okay, got it. For anyone else who wants to let me know what they liked, what they didn't like, what we did well, what we could improve on, things like that. That's a very quick survey. It would really help us out a lot. It is my last session here with Xperiencify, so I will miss you all, but I will still be in the community because I am a dedicated Xperiencify course creator myself. So you'll see me still in the Facebook group. I'm just going to dig into the chat here to see if there's any questions that I missed. But if I don't get to you, please ask questions either in the Facebook group, the Xperiencify Facebook group. You can email our wonderful tech support crew at any time. Their email address is support@xperiencify.com. There is a little green chat widget in the lower right-hand corner of your Xperiencify account, which connects you to our tech team, as well as all of the frequently asked questions. So do check that out if you're feeling stuck. Thanks, Bob. Excellent training, says Peter. Thank you. Oh, sorry, Tony, I didn't see the handout. Did you get the handout, Tony? Let me hang on. The handout was in. Okay, let me copy that. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't get it. The email that I'm looking at from Murray, yes, the 6th at 12 o'clock didn't have a handout link.
Okay. It was in the, okay, my apologies for that. It was in the Facebook event and it was, I think, oh, maybe it wasn't. My apologies.
I'm not on Facebook. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Okay,
Thank
I've
you.
popped it in the chat. Is that working now for you?
Yeah,
If you click on it, it'll say
that's
make a
great.
copy.
I'll try to
Awesome.
join the Facebook group too, but
Hey.
no.
Not a big Facebook fan. Okay, it's all right. Well, where have I got?
No, I just can't keep up with every group.
There's a lot, isn't there? Okay, Teresa says thank you. Okay, let me go back through the sorry guys, if you joined later, the handout, the link for the handout was given at the beginning, but I neglected to check the chat later on. So I've just popped it in there now. I hope everyone has access to it. Okay. Very specific. Jennifer, are you still here? Jennifer, do you want to unmute Jennifer? Oh, maybe not. Maybe she stepped away. Okay, she has some specific questions about the auto-release emails tied to the trainings. Okay, so if you're not here, Jennifer, to ask those specific questions, you can either ask them in the Facebook group or you can email them to support@xperiencify.com and they will help you out. What is the magic link? Peter asks, what's a magic link? So a magic link is a link that automatically opens up the course for that student with one click. So they don't have to go to a login page. It's really handy. Some places are using it now, but it's a really good way because people have passwords for all sorts of things and they forget the email address that they signed up for that particular thing with because they've got 1,000 email addresses. So the magic link is really a good way, just with one click, that the course opens up for them. Their course opens up at the place where they were at last time. Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
so I just figured out how to unmute myself. So-
Oh, good.
Sorry. Yeah, I somehow, when I clicked on the link, my screen went away and now I can't find the Zoom screen anymore. So I'm lost. But my specific question is, so I went through and I have all of these different trainings. I have like 13 trainings. And what I wanted to have happen was, when the training gets released, then I wanted an email released, let's see, as the training is released.
Yep.
And then I wanted to have a text released a full week later so that they would get notified, okay, you have a meeting tonight, because it's, it's sort of like it's a Wednesday. I wanted them to get the text on that Wednesday. And so I'm trying to figure out the way that I have it set up currently is that they get an email. Let's see. Now I'm trying to find how I had it set up date-wise. So the experience starts and stops. The starting trigger is training is released. And And then it basically, let me see, it keeps on closing. I say wait 6 days and then send an SMS.
Yeah, that's correct.
And is that correct? So it should be working the way that that I have it set up, right?
Yeah, yeah, that sounds
Okay.
correct to me. So whenever you have your training released in step 3 of your content, where you have your trainings and you've set the release to whatever date it is or however many days after, that's when the email will fire. Okay, because you've said when training released and you've chosen that particular training, that email will be sent out and then it will wait 6 days or however many days you put on there, and then it will send the SMS.
So if the training is released on a Wednesday night at midnight, which is how I have it set up, they would get the email on a Thursday or when they wake up on a Thursday. And so should it be 7 days to send the SMS? Or should I change?
If you have 6 days, to me, that would be the Tuesday. That would be the following Tuesday.
So if I make it more like the training is released at 6 a.m. on the following day, then 6 days would take it to a Wednesday.
Yeah. So just count 24 hours times 6 from when you've done. Just look at a calendar and count 6 days after whenever you've done that, and that's when the SMS will send. Okay. So if you want to,
so I'll change the time that it's released so that it lines up. Okay. So I think I get that. Okay, thank you.
Great.
I appreciate it.
Just remember that at the moment, all of the timings are on US Pacific time. Okay, so just bear that in mind when you're setting them up.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome.
Thanks.
Okay. Glad you found the unmute button. That was good.
Me too. I was scrambling there for a second.
Okay, let me see who else. Stephanie, are you still here? All of my people. I don't think Stephanie's still here. Okay, I might. If we purchase the VIP with the Xperiencify done for you, how will the process be different? Oh, the VIP with the Xperiencify. Oh, the done for you. Okay. Yes, I'll just answer for anyone else who happens to have the done for you bonus with Experience Product Masterclass. That's where our team will build your course for you. You don't need to worry about any of this. Okay. So there is in your Experience Product Masterclass dashboard, there is a button that says, I want to access this bonus. You click on that and then all the automagic process happens that adds you to the little mini course that we have, and it gives you the setup documents and a Google folder and all of those sorts of things where everything's explained in the mini course about that. I think I will have to, because it doesn't look like Stephanie's here right now, or not that I can see anyway. I'll have to get in contact with her to get her to click on that link in her dashboard about the bonus. What else is? Okay, I think that is all the questions that I can see. If I have, don't we need to upload our content to the tech team and they put it in for us? Kylie, are you here, Kylie? I have gone a little bit over, so people might not be here.
Yes, I am.
Oh, hi, Kylie. Okay, so you're referring to the bonus where our team does it for you as well, aren't you?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you don't need to worry about any of this because you're not building your course yourself. Our team is doing it. This training is for people who want to set up the course themselves.
Right, like the okay.
Yeah.
This is still very, very handy.
Yeah,
to know.
awesome. Yeah, it is. And if you're an EPM student, on your dashboard under bonuses, there should be a button that says that you want to access the course. If you haven't already, hit that and it will add you to a little mini guided done for you course that walks you step by step through the process that we need for you to hand over your materials to us. Okay. And if you don't have that, contact the support crew, support@xperiencify.com, and they will get you sorted out. Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm going to wrap this up. Oh, sorry.
No, I've actually started that.
Oh, fantastic.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so the mini course should walk you through all the steps that we take you through. You need to submit everything in one pass so that we have everything that we need, because we can't really go back and forth a million times with all the different coaches that are accessing that bonus.
Okay, so just quickly, what you're saying is you've got to upload everything at the same time?
Well,
Right, so
once you can take as long as you want, up to a 12 months after you finished EPM. You've got 12 months to access the bonus, but once you have uploaded everything, we tell you to check off the 3 action steps within that mini course to let us know that you're ready. And then once we start, we need to have everything that you want us to do in one go. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
We
thank
can't
you.
just start and then you hand us some more and then go back. And as you can understand, hundreds of coaches, that wouldn't be the best use of our time. So we ask that everything's there in one go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, I'm going to sign off. I've gone a little bit over time, but if I'll keep in touch with you in the Facebook group, and I wish you all the best. I'd love you to take those action steps at the bottom of the handout and fill out the feedback form for me so that we can improve what we're offering you, so that we're helping you in the best way we can. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Thank you, Danielle.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.